Hello, Anthony again, or Ginger Spook, or Spook, which is preferred. It's a long story. Nickname goes back quite a long way. Anyway, if you watched my last video, then thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. Lovely comments. And in the video, I said I would try uploading a video that compares my new airbrush, Harder and Steenbeck Ultra versus the cheapy Chinese jobby that you can get off eBay or any other sort of auction site. But I didn't. I actually bought that one from a shop, a model shop. I'm not going to name it, but I'm really disappointed because if you want people to get into the hobby and return to your shop, don't sell them duff gear. And the reason I say duff gear is because what I spent on the H&S is pretty much what I spent on the cheapy Chinese piece of rubbish. All right, there was a little bit more kit, but really it doesn't compare to the quality in what you get in the finish. So here's my little introduction. What I'm gonna do is go through each airbrush and just show you bit by bit. Paul, don't worry, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, mate. You are the #1 airbrush review guy. I just wanted to share my experience. And hopefully any newbies or people thinking about getting an airbrush that will definitely point them in the right direction, and make sure that they're not intimidated by a sort of branded, more expensive. Although it's not an expensive airbrush, but it's not the cheapest you can get on the market. It's about mid-range, I guess, but certainly 100% better than the other airbrushes, and you'll see the results for yourself in a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just show you each airbrush individually, mix up an identical, or not identical, I'm going to use the same paint in each brush, and then just show you a little test afterwards, and well, I'll let you see what you think for yourself. All right, here we go. Right, okay, so to start with, I'll show you what I got for, I think it was about £50 from this model shop that I went to, and it's a big model shop. It's not a tiddly little toy shop that sells a couple of beginner Airfix sets. It's a dedicated model and RC stuff. You'd really think they'd know better anyway. I think it's been there for years and they've just lost a bit of touch. Anyway, so this is what I got for my first airbrush. Now, I was very new and I didn't really understand anything, but like most blokes, I wanted all the gear and no idea, as they say. So 50 quid got me this bottle of air, which has got this screw-on adapter with, or basically that doesn't fit. The washers in it are rubbish, and you really have to, it's not a simple operation. It took me about 3/4 of the bottle of stuff just to get the lid. Look, it's ridiculous, it's crap. Try and get that on, hang on. Alright, so that's on, but as you can see, that's not level. That's the best you're going to get out of it. If I put the valve in the top there and wind that down. Alright, so a bit of air coming out there. If I cover it and turn it on, slightest movement, I don't know if you can hear it or not, slightest movement, you've got air escaping out of the nozzle. Let's just turn that off. Oops. Okay, that's the lead you get with it. There's still some in there. It's bloody awful. Then it comes to the airbrush itself. Now, you think, oh, lovely, because you look at all the videos, all the comparison videos, and you think, great, it's got a lovely big paint cup, it's got a lid on it, it's lovely, variable action, press down for air, smoother flow, then wider flow at the end. You can adjust how far back the pin goes. All the stuff that when you see Paul reviewing the H&S and the Iowata stuff, you think, yeah, he's talking about all that stuff. That stuff's great. Fantastic. However, I hadn't seen any of Paul's things at the time. I just took the guy's advice in the shop. Look at that. Brilliant. Absolutely amazing. and then you start taking it apart. So you've got the end section, you've got your needle holder, needle in there, pretty straightforward. Minute you take, well, any other bits off, a spring pops out and it's, look, it's bloody useless. That's come off. The only control you've got in there is this poxy little spring. But, well, it's not even a spring, it's just a bit of bent metal. It's, you know, that's as good as it gets. Cup, really hard to get into the nook and crannies to clean out. That's relatively clean, but it's not great. But my biggest bugbear, the thing that drove me to despair, the thing that actually made me go and have a look at Paul's reviews and say, right, that's it, I'm upgrading, even though I've spent the money I have, is you take that off, you've got your little spanner, that's your nozzle there, teeny tiny, right, goes on there, and he's said this in his reviews in the past, you over tighten it and you'll shear it off. Well, I did that. Look at that. That's absolutely... Oh, look, dropped it. I dropped that behind the sofa once and swear to God I found it. I don't know how, but I did find it. I was just playing with the spanner. I didn't know what it was for. Do you know what I mean? There's no instructions with it. Anyway, so putting that back in, or the original one back in one night, I thought I'd just give it a proper good clean out. Did that. I didn't even over tighten it. I just tightened it. You know, I know now not to overdo it. Just tightened it and the whole lot come off. I was very lucky with a little watchmaking screwdriver which fitted perfectly down that hole. I managed to get the ends out and keep the washer intact and get the end on. And then for a very small amount of money, went on eBay and bought some more nozzles. Well, that was a waste of a small amount of money, I tell you. So that's your cheapie. You know, it says what it does. Well, it doesn't do what it says on the tin, to be honest, but it says it does everything you want it to. But to be honest, don't waste your money, all right? So that's my first airbrush and my first experience with it. So we've had a little look at that. I've dismantled it, and I now realise I've got to put it back together again for the demonstration, but I'll come back to that. So next, I'll show you the new airbrush.